Hi, Dave here with DIY Epoxy. Today we're just going to do a sample board for a countertop customer. So we're just going to mix up our epoxy and colorants and show you how we do a little bit of marbling here. We start with the hardener in the middle just because it's a little bit less sticky than the resin, so it makes it easier to mix. So we're doing about 7.4 ounces per square foot. That's what we like to do, helps it self-level. So we're going to mix, I don't know if you can see that, we're going to mix this. The two clear parts, when they come together, kind of get pearly looking. We're going to mix this until it becomes clear. We're scraping the sides, the bottoms, and we're always going to use 2 mixing cups or buckets, depending on how much you're doing. And depending on your mixing technique, that'll take 2-3 minutes or so before it becomes clear. This is our main base, is the majority of it, so we're doing that white. If you don't use 2 buckets, run the risk of having some of it not completely mixed in. Wipe the stick off. I usually like to just use a new stick on the second mix when we're mixing the coloring in, but I don't have one handy, so I just wiped it off. Our colorants are super concentrated. It does not take much. You typically don't want to add any additives to your epoxy more than about 2% by volume. So you could go on a gallon, you could go up to 2.56 ounces, be 2%. All right, we got that all mixed in until it's uniform. Scrape the sides and the bottom again. And I don't have my torch in here either. I'm just going to dump that out. If you're going to scrape the bucket, a lot of times that's what I recommend doing, just sitting it there like that and letting it go, but we're just doing a small sample board here. So if I'm going to scrape it out, I'm going to put it in the middle of the pile so it just gets mixed more, even more while we're spreading it out. Okay, we're just going to spread this out. We're not going to worry about the edges on the sample board. See how opaque that is though? You can't see through that. You don't need any spray paint down first or whatever else they put down. That's just going to make your system weaker. We want that epoxy to bond directly onto the countertop. We do have to spray paint the edges, however, because it's vertical. But we'll let that dry overnight, that spray paint, and then we'll scuff sand it lightly to get a mechanical bond there. And we want to put spray paint on in light coats, like 6 or 7 light coats instead of one heavy coat. It makes it for a stronger system. Okay, that's good. Now we will mix in some of our colorants here. We've got a kind of a dark brown. I lightened this one up with some white. It's the same brown, but notice I'm not measuring this. I know it doesn't take much to make it opaque, so I just put a little bit in. We're fine. So the customer wants very little marbling, so we're not going to put a whole lot on there. Just a little more gray in here. just using the heat gun to kind of blow it out and make it look more organic.
You're the man, you know.
Alright, now we're just going to de-aerate with the propane torch. And we got a lot of the air out just by using the heat gun. But now I don't want to move it as much, so the propane torch does that without moving the epoxy, and it lets it self-level. We got a hair right here, so we're going to grab that. When you're using the torch, just keep it moving. Don't get it too hot or anything like that. It can discolor and kind of make it curdle. De-aerate one more time. I can see a few more bubbles over here, but she's looking pretty good. She's leveling out. Hopefully the customer will like it.